You walk into your local grocery store every single week. You know which aisle has the cereal. You know where they keep the good coffee. That place feels as permanent as the roads that lead to it. I need you to erase that feeling, right now. Because 48 hours into any major collapse, grid failure, supply chain breakdown, civil unrest, that familiar building stops being a grocery store. It becomes a trap. Not because of what's inside it, because of what it does to the people around it. Today, we're mapping exactly how this happens, phase by phase, hour by hour. And stay with me until the last segment, because the final phase is the one that actually gets people killed. Segment 1. The illusion of safety. Here's what most people believe the moment disaster strikes. Get to the store. Stock up. You'll be fine. It seems logical. The store is close. It has food, water, medicine, even baby supplies. Every survival instinct you have is pointing you toward that building. But your instincts are wrong. Because that exact same logic is firing in the brain of every single person in your zip code, simultaneously. What you're heading toward isn't a supply hub, it's a convergence point. And convergence points, in collapse scenarios, become the most dangerous places on Earth. Let's talk about why, starting from the moment the lights go out. Segment 2. The first wave. Hours 0 to 12. Within the first 12 hours, the store is still running. Lights on, registers may be working. But watch what happens to behavior, because this is where it starts. Panic buying begins within hours of any emergency announcement. During COVID, bottled water, bread, and basic staples disappeared from shelves within 3 to 6 hours of a regional declaration. Now imagine something that looks permanent. Most major grocery chains in the US run on what's called a just-in-time delivery model. That means your local store carries roughly 72 hours of inventory at normal consumption rates. Panic buying compresses that to under 12 hours. The store is not a reservoir, it's a pipeline, and the pipeline just got cut. By hour 6, shelves are going empty in waves. Water first, bread, canned goods, then the medicine aisle. Store management locks the back stockroom, not to be cruel, but because they're scared. And scared people with keys make very bad decisions. Meanwhile, the staff starts calling in sick, because they have families too, and they can see exactly what's coming. Segment 3. The breakdown. Hours 12 to 24. By hour 12, the store has become something different, and you can see it on faces. Lines stretch out the door and around the building. Rationing has started. 1 per customer, 2 per family. People have been waiting 2 hours in the heat for a limit of 4 water bottles. Do you know what a 2-hour wait in genuine uncertainty does to the human brain? It strips away the polite layer. There's a documented psychological response called scarcity panic, where decision-making shifts from rational to reactive. Logic goes offline. Survival instinct takes over completely. This is when the first altercations happen. Not violent ones yet, but heated, accusatory. Someone cuts in line. Someone grabs a cart that wasn't theirs. Someone shoves. One security guard, if there even is one, cannot manage 200 people running on cortisol and adrenaline. Here's what else is happening that you can't see. The refrigeration units are running on backup power. Commercial refrigeration systems at most stores are designed for 6 to 8 hours of generator runtime before fuel runs out. After that, the meat section, your most calorie-dense zone, starts the spoilage clock. And when people realize the perishables are going bad, they grab everything, including things they can't carry, including things that will rot in their hands before they reach home.
Segment 4.
the critical window, hours 24 to 48. This is the phase nobody talks about, because it forces us to confront who we actually are under pressure. Between hour 24 and 48, the grocery store enters what I call the fortress phase. There are two ways this plays out. Both are dangerous. Scenario 1. No organized authority. Employees have gone home to protect their own families. The doors are locked, and people break in. Or left open, and the store becomes a free-for-all. No inventory control, no sanitation, no rules. Scenario 2. Armed authority moves in. Law enforcement, National Guard, or private security locks the building down entirely. The store is now a government resource point, which sounds safer until you're in the crowd outside being told there's nothing left for you. In both scenarios, the store's glass walls have become your enemy. A glass-fronted building in a high-stress, resource-scarce situation is a mob's first target. Everyone can see what's inside, and that visibility triggers aggression in ways that a solid wall simply does not. The exits are your second problem. Most grocery stores have 2 to 4 ways out, all of them funneling through narrow corridors. Checkout lanes, service desks, loading zones. In a crowd surge, these become choke points. People get crushed. People get trapped. People get hurt trying to get out of a building they only entered to get food. This is not speculation. This is the documented behavioral pattern from Hurricane Katrina, from the 2003 Northeast Blackout, from multiple international collapse events. The grocery store becomes a magnet, then a battlefield, then a ruin, all within 48 hours. Segment 5. The fatal mistake. Here's the specific mistake that gets people hurt, or worse. They wait until they actually need something. They think, I'll just run out real quick. Get in, get out. It won't be that bad yet. This is magical thinking, and it ignores the math. If your neighborhood of 10,000 people has the same idea, and they will, you are not making a quick trip. You are joining a crowd that is operating on fear. You are entering a building that has become a flashpoint. You are positioning yourself between desperate people and the last resources they can physically see. And here's the part that nobody says out loud. The people at that store past the 48-hour mark are not just hungry. Some of them are armed. Some of them made a decision before you arrived that the normal rules don't apply anymore. You don't win that situation. You avoid it. Segment 6. The sanitation time bomb. Let's talk about something the survival shows always skip. Sanitation. A grocery store without power and without restocked inventory becomes a biological hazard within days. Spoiling meat, overflowing dumpsters, no running water, because most urban water systems depend on powered pumping stations that go down in extended blackouts. People who've been standing outside in the heat, stressed, unwashed, are now handling food with contaminated hands. Cross-contamination spreads through every surface they touch. In a normal environment, that's a health code violation. In a collapse environment, that's a disease vector. The CDC has documented that in post-disaster scenarios, food contamination illnesses spike within 72 to 96 hours. The grocery store, or what's left of it, stops being a food source and becomes a transmission point. You went for food. You came home with something that kills you 3 days later. Not from violence, from a contaminated can of beans you were grateful to find. Segment 7. The Prepper Counter Strategy. So what do you actually do? Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Your goal is never to go to the store after a collapse begins. Your goal is to never need to. That means building your supply before the event. Not extreme bunker prepping, a practical, rotating pantry that buys you 2 to 4 weeks of self-sufficiency. Long enough for most regional disasters to stabilize. Your window is this: the moment there's credible threat of an event, a major storm, a grid warning, civil unrest building. You have one narrow opportunity to top off your supplies. That window is before the panic. The day before. The hour you sense it coming. When you go, don't go to the big box anchor store. Go secondary. A smaller ethnic market, a dollar store, a specialty grocer. These locations are lower on the panic radar and will have inventory 30 minutes longer than the Walmart down the street. Go in with a list already in your head. Priority items only: water, shelf-stable protein, medications, fuel. No browsing, no figuring it out in the aisle. And if you already missed that window, if the collapse already started, stay away from the store. Assess what you have. Reach out to trusted neighbors. Prioritize water above everything else. You can survive 3 weeks without food. You cannot survive a mob. Segment 8. The grocery store isn't the enemy. It's a system. And like all systems, it fails under pressure, in completely predictable ways. When it fails, it doesn't fail slowly or gently. It fails fast, it fails loud, and it fails with a crowd. Your job as a prepared person is simple. Don't be in that crowd. If this video showed you something you hadn't thought about, hit subscribe, because next week, we're going deep on exactly what to stockpile to cover that 48-hour failure window, and which common prepper foods are a total waste of shelf space. I'm your raccoon with a plan. Stay smart, stay stocked, and stay off those shelves.